I don't want my baby to have a relationship with my father-in-law because he has never cared about me.
It's okay, OP. I'll care about you.
I'll care about you more, though.
I'll care about you more.
No, I care about you most times infinity. A little backstory is needed. I, 29 female, have known my fiance, 31 male, since 2019. We had an on-again, off-again relationship until March of 2022. I moved out of state and he realized he couldn't stand me not being in his life. So he broke up with his then girlfriend to be serious with me. He flew to my new state and brought me home. By the way, this comes from user background noise 21. And if you want to submit your own stories, go do it at the r/okstorytime subreddit. So he knew his family would have some questions. So he told a half-truth about our relationship, saying that I had a family emergency, my sister needed back surgery, and came home suddenly and needed a place to stay, and that we were feeling out our situation, but nothing was concrete. We had discussed children, getting married, getting a house, and all expectations of the relationship before I agreed to come home with him. We got pregnant a year and a half into our current relationship. It wasn't planned. I was switching birth control because my previous one was making me depressed and gaining weight, 20 pounds in 9 months. In the year and a half prior to getting pregnant, there were a few instances with his family members that has caused tension with getting close. I made a joke when a sister-in-law, S, we'll call her Stephanie, who doesn't understand my humor, and she told the family I wanted to poisson her husband. She was complaining that step-brother-in-law, C, who I will call Carter, was never home and didn't appreciate her. I told her that if he was sick, he would be home, and if she took care of him, then he would have to appreciate everything she did for him. But now we just have to figure out how to make him sick. 3 months after I made this joke, I gave them a loan of $20,000 to help them start a business, which if I wanted to poisson or hurt him, I wouldn't have given him the loan. I want my money back at some point. Later, step-sister-in-law A, Alice, got pregnant, and we have a mutual friend. They had a friends with benefits relationship while I just knew this guy from around town. When I ran into him, I asked how he felt about sister-in-law Alice being pregnant and if he regrets not being in a committed relationship working towards having kids soon. He let me know he wasn't aware of her being pregnant. I instantly felt bad and begged him not to tell sister-in-law that I told him. Since they still work together, I thought he already knew. Well, sister-in-law Alice found out I told him and let the family know what I did.
Alice is a little tattletale. Every time we see this conundrum, Alice tells the family.
Tattletale Alice, and also maybe tell people that your pregnancy's a secret, low-key? Yeah. How are you going to be mad at her for not being, you didn't tell her it was a secret?
OP was just literally making small talk. I'm like, oh my God. And yeah, you're dumb.
When you literally work with the father of your child, that is not a crazy thing to assume that he already knows. I never knew that she or the family was mad at me at this because no one told me. I just felt iced out at holidays, but my fiance told me it was nothing until I spent $100 on her baby shower and was punted out without an explanation. My fiance finally then explained everyone's attitude towards me after I got home. Step-brother-in-law M, who I will call Marty, has 2 biological kids and his girlfriend has 1 from a previous relationship as well. They have been living in an apartment that father-in-law owns for several years without paying rent. When a house that my fiance's grandfather owned became available with sizable land, I might add, I said something to my fiance's bio sister that I didn't want Marty to get it. I felt he didn't deserve it. Bio sister B, Betty, has been looking for a house so she can start a family. So I felt if fiance and I didn't get the house, she should be able to have it. Marty has never kept a job for longer than 6 months, even with having custody of his kids. The only time he was able to hold down a job is when my fiance employed him or when brother-in-law Carter did. Marty is a fan of the devil's lettuce and is a free spirit. He's always learning new musical instruments and painting and drawing or playing video games. He and his family are never outside. His kids never play outside to the point they are afraid of getting dirty and the smallest bugs scare him. The house needed a lot of work to make it livable, and I knew Marty wouldn't be able to afford it. And if he did afford it, he wouldn't pay grandpa rent since he hasn't been forced to pay father-in-law rent for over 8 years. Because of my statement to Betty, she told father-in-law and his wife, stepmother-in-law feels like I'm coming between the family. Stepmother-in-law has never made me feel welcome. She would reach out to all the women in the family for holidays and tell them what to bring, but never reached out to me. She never made an effort to get to know me at functions, and when we announced my pregnancy, she grilled me on being a part of the family and bashed me for a solid hour, making me cry. Brother-in-law Carter told my fiance to convince me to terminate my pregnancy.
All right. So
he's cut off.
So this family really doesn't like you.
The stepmother-in-law is cut off.
Alice is cut off.
You know what? And it seems like you have enough family members that you can just cut off the ones who are trash.
You know what? Just go hang out with Marty and then make sure he can be a parent and be like, all right, let's just chill with our kids.
Yeah, Marty might not be responsible, but at least he's not actively a terrible person to you, OP. Let's keep going.
Just a conundrum of a father.
While I was pregnant, they didn't reach out and ask how I was doing. I had to throw my own baby shower, and their idea of help once the baby came was to hold him while I cleaned the house.
John, we're going to get back to the story, but you're old.
You're as old as me now, pal.
I might be as old as you, but I feel like you have oodles more wisdom.
I've got some wisdom in this old noggin.
You got a piece of wisdom for me right now?
Always respect you.
And I think the other piece of wisdom that I've learned from John is join OK Storytime memberships.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
And it's only $5 a month. So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Get it now while I'm still alive.
Now back to the story.
Even with a second-degree tear, and I ended up so sick, every time I stood up, I felt like I was going to pass out. They still only wanted to hold the baby. 2 weeks after giving birth, father-in-law told my fiance, quote, "I am the grandfather. I should be able to see the baby whenever I want. She does know she's a part of our family now, right? Which means we see all of our other grandbabies every other week. We expect the same of her." As if the 2 years we were together prior didn't make me a part of the family. And they never included me in the family. Yet I was supposed to hand over my child without question. Now, mother-in-law, on the other hand, has been amazing. She has always made me feel welcome. She's crocheted me a scarf that I was wanting, made my baby a blanket to match my scarf, and several outfits, even the one my baby came home in. She has never been pushy about seeing the baby, and every time she would visit, she would offer to do laundry or dishes or whatever I needed done. I love my mother-in-law. Sorry for the long backstory. My baby is a year old now, and at first, father-in-law and his wife were super pushy about seeing the baby and demanding pictures every week. Never once asking how I was doing or inviting me to come see them or asking me to come see the baby. They wanted to take my baby by themselves, even though I strictly bred no bottles, and I was a stay-at-home mom. They always reach out to my fiance and complain they haven't seen our child in weeks. There was literally a family get-together every 3 or 4 weeks, and so we saw them all the time. I see these people as strangers, and I don't trust them. I've seen how step-mother-in-law speaks and treats to her bio-grandchildren, and I don't like it. Making her 2-year-old grandbaby stand on a scale every time she gets him because he's getting chunky, he shouldn't be weighing so much.
That's a freaking baby, bro.
Black hole, dude. I want through the sun into the black hole.
It's a
You're
freaking baby,
spaghetti.
dude.
You're weight checking a 2-year-old. She tells her children and their significant others when she is getting the grandkids instead of asking. Their pushy and entitlement attitude just rubs me the wrong way. I have cut my entire family out of my life for their toxicity, and their pushiness just makes me want to dig my heels in harder. My mother-in-law, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. She lives 45 minutes away, and so does her parents. When she visits bio sister, she will sometimes stop in and visit with me and play with the baby. She's taken me out to lunch. She celebrated my birthday. For my first Mother's Day, she had seen a eating hoodie I posted on Facebook, and she surprised me with it. She even buys me gifts for Christmas. All the things father-in-law and stepmother-in-law don't do. Mother-in-law has taken the time to get to know me and helps me whenever she can. I went to her town to go shopping, and I trusted her to watch the baby for an hour while I did so. When her parents haven't seen my child in a while, she will let me know. They keep asking, and she asks what my schedule looks like. As soon as she tells me her family wants to see the baby, I go out of my way to make it happen. I don't feel like walking on eggshells around her. I feel accepted. And by the way, we will always accept you listening to full episodes with stories like this. All you have to do is go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, and search OK Storytime. We have just a little bit of story left here. But before we go on, I mean, I think definitely we have a no to low contact conversation here.
Where is the fiance or father here? Because I don't think they're married yet. They're not married yet.
I would assume giving in to demands. That's where he's at.
But like, where is the OP talking to him? Like, hey, they kind of suck. Like, your stepmom sucks. Nah, and then he's just like, that's just how they are. What?
Yeah, so we don't have to have them around. That's the crazy.
We don't have them around? No, you gotta have them around.
Don't need to have them around.
No, like, what's going on here? Where is his say? Where is he at? OP, you just got low contact, even though it seems like you were doing low contact, but they do family events every 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's weird to be like, that's already a lot, honestly. So anyway, let's finish the story. My problem is this. My fiance works 12 to 16 hour days, and he's hardly ever home. He sees his child for maybe an hour or two every day. There are a few days where he only sees him for 15 minutes. He's pushing me to make more of an effort for his father and stepmom. I don't feel like it's my place. My focus is on our family and those that accept us as a family. If father-in-law and stepmother-in-law want to see our child, they should reach out and invite us over or ask if they can visit, which neither of them do. So what should I do? Would I be the a-hole if I didn't put forth the effort and kept doing what I'm doing? Side note, they treat the biological sister-in-law the same way. She just had her baby and they ask how the baby is, but never ask about her. Father-in-law complains that mother-in-law was at the hospital when she gave birth and comes over to see the baby all the time, but mother-in-law is cooking, cleaning, and taking sister to the grocery store so she doesn't get overwhelmed. Mother-in-law is taking care of her daughter so her daughter can take care of her baby, while father-in-law would only and is only focused on the baby.
So he's just a selfish prick.
Yeah, I don't
He just
know.
He just wants baby, and then he's going to be like, I'm going to command you and make you into my little soldier.
Yeah, militant. I was going to say, he seems very militant. I would say, at the very least, express what you want to see in terms of positive changes with your relationship with your in-laws.
Yeah, there's
the bad ones.
There's no way they should be making demands towards you. You should be the ones making demands towards them. That's the end of that story.
That is the end of that story.
We have another one coming right up.